Hey pals, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here with a book tag. This is the anti-TBR book tag. So this is an original book tag created by Nicole and her books. I will leave a link to that in the description if you'd love to watch her video. That would be great. And also if you want to see the questions and all that stuff, there are 8 questions here. And as you might guess, this is gonna be about books that I'm probably not gonna read. So if you're not up for something negative today, maybe don't watch this one. Of course, these are all just my opinions. I'm never telling anyone not to read books, certain books. I'm just saying that, like, I'm not interested in these books. And I might be a little negative about it because that is kind of the point of this tag in this video. So if you can't handle that, that's okay, but please move on with your life. So, book number 1 is a popular book everyone loves that you have no interest in reading. For this, I chose... Okay, so here's the thing about these questions is that I could find a million things if I'm talking about things that, because I like darker fiction, I like fantasy, I like darker sci-fi, I like horror, obviously, and thrillers. So it is so easy for me to think of just like a YA contemporary book and be like, I'm not gonna read that. So for these, I tried to stick in like the genres I read to challenge myself a little bit more. So for this one, I decided on Writing by Stephen King. This is not exactly a horror book. It is a nonfiction book, but it's one that does not interest me in any way. I think this is kind of a book about Stephen King's writing. And I know that there's like writing tips and stuff and like, it's not like a self-help book, but it's just not one that I think I'm ever going to be interested in reading. But like, people read it a lot because it's a Stephen King novel, and like aspiring writers or current writers also, you know, just read it for the insight, I guess, but I don't feel like it's marketed toward me. I don't think it's for me. Number 2, a classic book or author you don't have interest in reading. I don't think I have one author that stands out when I think about this. It's more of like just classics in general. I don't think I'm gonna read, like, I don't think I'm gonna read Turn of the Screw. I probably won't ever read Frankenstein. I only read Dracula because, like, I've already read it and I know that I like it. And I think that's kind of, I'm just kind of being grinchy about it. But, like, typically I don't like classics. So, like, I don't think I'm gonna pick them up. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not gonna read Carmilla, probably. I'm not gonna read... I have never read Shirley Jackson. I don't know if that's for me. That's my answer. It's not a great answer, but that's what it is. Okay, number 3 is an author whose books you have no interest in reading. And that's gotta be H.P. Lovecraft. And this is, I think, where people are gonna get really upset. But, like, I just don't fucking care what this old racist dude has to say. And, like, we can say that's of his time all we want, but, like, he was horrible, and, like, that's reflected in his writing also with, you know, depictions of monsters as having negroid features and things like that. And, like, I just don't have time for that shit. I don't care if he founded the goddamn, like, if he's the first person ever to write horror, which he's not. And I'm just not interested in his goopy tentacle monsters. Like, I don't give a shit. HP, go fuck yourself. Number 4 is an author you have read a couple books from and have decided their books are not for you. And, oh man, I'm not sure if I've cemented this decision not to read any more of this person's books, but I've read 3 of Jonathan Janz's books. And every time I pick it up, I'm hoping that this will be the one where I fall in love with his writing, and, like, it never is that one. And there's some times where it's like, I read an author's books and I'm like, I know I'm not gonna like this, and that's fine. Or, like, I know that I don't like it after I read it, and I know that I'm done with their stuff. And it's just because I don't like it. But with his books, I'm always like, is it my fault? Like, am I reading the wrong book? Am I in the wrong mood? Is this the wrong book? Why don't I like it? You know, like, I feel like it's a problem with me, not a problem with the book, which is weird. So I've read 3 of his books and I keep hoping that I'll love them, and I don't. So I don't know. I have 2 more of his books. I haven't read Siren and the Spectre, which is one that people, you know, really love, but like, is it worth my time? I don't know. I'm so conflicted about Jonathan Janz's books. Number 5 is a genre you have no interest in, or a genre you tried to get into and couldn't. Kind of goes with the H.P. Lovecraft thing, but I just don't find cosmic horror in itself very interesting. I know that that is a very beloved subgenre in horror, and I can't say I've read a lot of it, but that's because it doesn't seem interesting to me. Like, is it just because... And honestly, I don't know how to even define cosmic horror. It seems like a lot of it is just like, this monster has tentacles and it comes from space. Or like, I don't know, something about, you know, old gods and shit like that. And I just don't find that compelling or interesting. Like, why would these old dudes want to fuck around with us? Why would these old tentacle gods care about what we're doing? I don't know. Not interesting to me, I'm sorry. Number 6 is a book you've bought but will never read. Oh, where is it? Oh, this one I actually got from a book box, but like I paid for the book box. This came in a night where I was a couple months ago. This is Mallory by Josh Mallerman, and I liked Bird Box pretty well, but I just don't care about, like, I don't want there to be more after Bird Box. I don't want to know, and I don't care about what happens to Mallory after that. Like, I think I think Bird Box should have been it, and I think he should have left it alone, and I don't really care about Mallory's story after that. I just have no interest in knowing what goes on. I literally do not fucking think about this book at all, except for when this question came up and then I thought about it, but I don't care. I don't care what happens to boy and what happens to girl. Number 7 is a series you have no interest in reading, or a series you've started and DNF'd. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about this. Horror books don't typically have a ton of series in them, so I was hard pressed to find one like that, a horror genre book. But I did think of a very recent series I decided to be done with. This is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This started out great. I liked it a lot. This first book is about a girl named Rin, and she is accepted into this military school, and while she's in military school, this war breaks out, and she also finds out that she is a shaman, and she has like shamanic powers and stuff like that. And I really liked the first book. The second book didn't like as much, and then I thought maybe the third book, like, I just thought maybe I'd read it and then I'd just be done with the series, and, you know, I'd enjoy it because it's like the climax of the series and stuff like that. But I read 200 pages. It was a long book, but I read 200 pages of it and I decided that's it for me, because I just don't care about these characters and their plight. I don't care about it. So that's that. And the final question is a new release you have no interest in reading. And you know what? Because I was trying to narrow down my answers to fit into the genres that I read, I really could not find anything that I really don't want to read that's been released recently. I spent like 20 minutes. I looked through my subscriptions on YouTube, I looked through my Twitter feed, I looked through Instagram, and I literally could not find anything in the horror genre that I was like, ugh, you know what I mean? So I don't have an answer for this. That's my answer. I don't know. They all look good. They all look good recently. So that's kind of a lackluster way to end this book tag video. There's birds outside. My cat's upset. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if there's any books that you absolutely will not read, if there's any authors you absolutely will not read. Let's spill some tea. Give me the chisme. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.